for the Shop Report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. Double J, don't do that. Stop, man. Stop. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to even finish the intro, bro. Here's what's happening. Anyway, if you're one of the folks out there in TV land and you're watching today's program and you want to leave a question or comment for today's program, by all means, please do so. We'll throw it up on the screen. I'm not going to even give you no intro. Anyway, do y'all know who this is? This is Double J, a.k.a. Joey James from across the way. Tell us what you say. Yeah.
Hey, let's get to it. We got Coco with a little bit of a bait and switch. And some, you know, Halliburton becoming a global name amongst plenty more.
Yeah, you know, that trophy that he gave was real terrible. Again, people, I didn't do the regular intro today because this guy always messing with the screens, and I ain't want to go through that. But anyway, I'm your host for the day, Barbershop Jay. We got a special guest for you all. Shout out to the special guest. We're going to bring him on here in a minute. You understand me? That's right. Just give you a little tidbit. He's a former plain dealer. That's all newspaper and Cleveland.com sports journalist. He's in the house today. He got a few other accolades that we'll mention as well. And he's going to join us for some of the sports talk too. We are glad he is with us. At the end of the day, to give you all a little rundown, we got a little question about hockey in terms of fighting and whatnot. And Aaron Rodgers is a Steeler now. And then speaking of Shedeur Sanders and a whole lot more. But let us officially start the show. All right, we're going to bring our special guest on. He is Branson Wright. That's right. Shout out to my man, Branson Wright, a.k.a. B-Dub. Let's get him a little intro right there. Let's shout him out again. Believe land, baby. That's right, 30 for 30, Women of Troy. Before we get into with Branson, I mean, you know, we appreciate you for joining us on the P program today. We usually have another character. He kind of remind me of Larry Graham from Cameo, but he, for whatever reason, maybe on tour right now. I don't even know. But before we get into some of the sports talk, I just want to let you all know this man right here, he and I go way back. Branson, while I got you here, let me apologize. You've sent me invites to functions in regards to networking for podcasters and such. And unfortunately, because of my 9-to-5, man, I wasn't able to make them. And I want to apologize to you again, because after I look back at them and don't shake your head. I'm kicking myself still. They were events, man. There's no telling who I could have met there and what could have happened and so on and so forth. So don't stop them coming, B. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, something going on in that house up over on the hill in the post office. And I'm just caught in between. That's all I'm going to tell you right now. But anywho, let me give you all a little background on this young man right here. Not is he just an accomplished filmmaker, producer, writer, and director, but also a nationally known sports writer, as I said, covering all genres of sports for nearly 30 years. I didn't know it was that long, B. Which more recently, he had contributions to ESPN's Anscape. We're going to have him maybe, you know, tell us a little bit more about Anscape. And like I said, the Cleveland Plain Dealer, our local newspaper, and Cleveland.com. Owner of also Be Right Ventures, a film production company. Some of those projects from the Be Right Ventures include Women of Troy, documentary about Cheryl Miller, and was Pam McGee? That was Pam McGee was still there too, right?
Pam and Paula.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's right. Women of Troy, ESPN's Believe Land. Now, I've definitely got a few questions I want to ask you about Believe Land. I didn't know you had a hand in that, though, B. It's all good though. And King of the Block, which I thought was very in particular because it highlights the Princeton versus Moeller, the high school football rivalry. Is that Princeton is in Ohio?
Yes.
Cincinnati. I know Moeller is, so the Cincinnati Moeller.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. And in that particular documentary, is that the Pete Rose?
The one and only.
Oh wow! Shout out! Oh wow! That's why I said Pete Rose. Yes, Pete Rose, Kirk Herbstreit, and Jim Tressel, former Ohio State football coach. is in that particular documentary, correct?
Yes, I mean Double J can go to YouTube and maybe find some of the trailers, and you'll see Pete.
Oh, okay, cool. See, and we glad, and I'm so glad you gave us permission because a couple months, maybe a couple years ago, we played some stuff and I didn't know it at the time. I should have, I mean, oh man, Facebook and YouTube, man, oh, they came down. Oh my gosh, did they come down hard, man? We had all kind of yellow symbols and exclamation, but it's all good. And then lastly, but not least, Mr. Wright, Mr. Branson Wright, is also the author of the book Rookie Season, which chronicles the inaugural season of the West Michigan Whitecaps. Am I saying that right? A minor baseball affiliate of the Detroit Tigers. So, B, once again, let me shout you out. You understand me? I will give you another button, but you don't cut up like just the other guy and the other one that ain't here today. Man, tell me about Anscape. Let's start with Anscape. A little bit more.
Well, Anscape used to be called The Undefeated. Started about, I think it was 2017 when it started. No, 2016.
Okay, got you. And that was that was the sports show, the Undefeated or something like that, right?
No, that was the website that focuses on more on Black athletes, black culture. And it started off as The Undefeated, and then for some reason they changed the name to Anscape. I wasn't real happy with the name change, but hey, it's ESPN. They can do what they want to do. So been doing that since 2016, writing things that of the culture, whether it's athletes or issues or things of that nature.
And the women of Troy, man, what was it like doing that, man? I know you got to chop it with Cheryl and all of them, right?
Well, let me give you the story. So
please.
So 2000, I believe it was 2008, when I was deciding that I wanted to be a filmmaker, and I gave Cheryl Miller a call because I met Cheryl when I was covering the Cavaliers. She was, the sideline reporter for TNT, and I gave Cheryl a call and I said, Cheryl, I don't know how I'm gonna get it done, when I'm going to get it done, but I want your permission for me to pursue doing a documentary on that USC team.
Wow.
Now, first of all, Jay, I didn't. You got to think about it. USC is one of the top filmmaking schools in the world.
I didn't know that. Okay, got you. Good looking out.
And I thought, there's no way someone didn't do a documentary on this team.
By
right
now,
there on campus,
got you.
Right there, but nobody had done one. So I got Cheryl's permission. So from 2008 until 2020, so 12 years, from the time that I called her to the time that it debuted in March of 2020, it took 12 years. It was a journey. It was a journey trying to get it done. There was, I'm not going to name the networks.
I got you. I know.
One network said nobody cares about women's sports. Another network said, "Oh, it's your budget is too much." Another network said, "Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do it." And then I didn't hear from them anymore. I kept calling them. I kept calling them, leaving messages. Didn't hear from them again. And Gary Cohen, who's become my mentor in the film business, and Gary Cohen had a relationship with someone at HBO, and he told him what we were working on and something that we wanted to pursue, and they said, "Okay, let's do it." And 12 years later, the rest is history.
Man, shout out. That's what I'm talking about, B. I'm so glad you're on, man. That's just a little backdrop. Man, we have these conversations. Obviously, when you're talking sports, these conversations will kind of like regurgitate themselves. And that's, like seeing it from the athlete's perspective, the sports writer's perspective, and the fans' perspective. A lot of fans think that their perspective is the only perspective. You get what I'm trying to say? And I'm like, I'm a fan too, but at what point is reality going to get a seat at the table when we having these discussions? You know what I'm trying to say, man? They got to have a destination is what I'm saying. I'm not about to go back and forth with you for 45 minutes and like a rocking chair. We moving, but we ain't went nowhere. I ain't finna do that. So I appreciate you, man, for adding a little bit of context to that, because again, I did not know, and I talked to Dre all the time. I was like, man, I said, B did that? He was like, yeah. I was like, man, bro, my son is a hoop head, and he like, man, all he talk about is talking about playing Sher Miller one-on-one. I said, man, you don't want that Lance Stevenson treatment. Boy, you don't want to get Stevenson out here. I'm trying to say. That's slick too, though. Believe Land. All I'm gonna say to you is, I know some former players who said there were certain things that were not in the documentary. Like, for instance, when it came to the stadium, like showers or something, you come to get to the showers because if you didn't want to the first, the last one to go home, all kind of stuff. So I'm just saying, how close to the vest, if you would, or how close to what actually took place was Believe Memory?
Jay, got some technical issues on your end.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, bear with me here.
There we go. You're coming back.
Okay. Did you hear anything I said at all?
No. What was the question?
No, I was saying the Believe Land documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to some of your clips here in a second. I don't know what's going on. Double J, you see that up there too? If you can't hear me, just let me know again. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes stuff like this happen, but we'll keep rolling. About the Believe Land documentary. Tell me, like, is there something in there, you being the co-producer, right, that the fans who saw that did not know, or that you couldn't put in there at the time? Or was this, something left out maybe?
It really wasn't much of what was left out. I mean, the story was basically Cleveland not being winners, going through the heartache, and the fact that the fans in this city, it's all about supporting the home team no matter what.
Yeah.
And that was the story we wanted to tell. Now, what happened when the story was completed and it first aired, if you remember, this was before the Cavaliers won it. So it was, hey, they root for their town, they root for their sports teams all the time. They can never win it. And that's basically how the story ended. But when the Cavs won it, we had to go back and do the ending showing that the Cavaliers won. And, I was real happy to do something like that. I mean, talking about a happy ending for, all the heartache and everything. And then this film comes out and then they actually win it. So that worked out great, having that happen.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm gonna just let people know. Yeah, Double J, we got a private chat just right quick. If you see something, just let me know in the private chat what's going on, because this is not normal. Even though we've had technical difficulties before, this is not really normal. So bear with us, B. Again, we glad you're here, and the people that's watching, just bear with us. Stuff happens. And then the last documentary, and then we'll get to the book, and then I got a question for you, of course. King of the Block. This rivalry, this Princeton and Moeller rivalry. How far back does this rivalry go? Because I know south of here, yeah, that Canton, McKinley, all of them. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, them some powerhouses down there, man.
Yeah, what was unique about the Moeller-Princeton rivalry is you had the public school, mostly black football team in Princeton. You had the
did not know that either.
You had the private school, mostly white students, but you had black and white players that played for Moeller.
Okay.
And, they both were, I think it's about 6 miles apart, the two schools.
Oh, okay. So they're real close.
And you have, Moeller with Jerry Faust, and
yeah,
always rumors about them recruiting, and things like that. And then you have Princeton, where Lincoln Heights, which is one of the oldest black communities in the country. In fact, they were the first black town north of the Mississippi.
Really?
And this was, I think that they recognized that in 1947. So you had this historical black city, and you had this great football team in Princeton. So you had the rivalry because they were different, if you will, as far as the schools, public, private. And then they were the two powers. Now, here's the thing. There was a 10-year span between the two schools. They won 7 out of 10 state titles.
Whoa!
So whoever won that game, they would play like Michigan,
Got you.
Ohio State. Whoever win that game, the last
winning the title that
game,
year.
They were going to win the title. They were going to go to state, at least go to state.
Go to state. And what's crazy, man, I've been around sports. I mean, I was a sports junkie. I know Moeller, but I wasn't hip to Princeton.
Oh yeah.
Is that by design, bro?
Well, they didn't get the popularity of Moeller, but you just
but they should have
talent. They should have, absolutely.
You know what? That kind of reminds me of the Boys of Dunbar. I got the book actually, and reading it, listening to Muggsy and Wingate and Bob Wade, and I forget a couple of the other household names, what have you, talked about when Dunbar was as a high school basketball team, when they were on their run in the early 80s, 81 to 83, I think, or 84, or something like that. They had like a 2 or 3 year run of like going undefeated or something. It was certain schools that was like right down the street from them. That was a powerhouse, some Catholic school that didn't want to play them either. You know what I mean? Or that, right. And kind of got out of in them or whatever. So I had never heard that before, man. That's good stuff. And then lastly, your book, man, Rookie Season. The West Michigan Double J. Yeah, I know you're going to like this. When I saw that, I was like, oh, he's going to eat that up because he's in Michigan, actually. Joey, Mr. James here. Yeah.
What city is he in?
Double J, what city are you in? Detroit?
Yeah, I'm on the east side of the state, but I have traveled and gotten a chance to see the Whitecaps, so I thought that was very cool. Without otherwise knowing the true kind of origin of that, and of course having that any first season is going to be remarkable, and so you getting that opportunity, I think it was just fantastic that you could put it all together and make it even more special.
Yeah, for sure, man. Absolutely. First off, how much is the book? Where can I get it? And can I get a signed copy? Okay, because we promote reading here. You know what I'm trying to say? For sure. You know what I mean? Second, of the 4 projects, basically, the documentaries and of course the book included. And of course, I want you to obviously tell us a little bit about the book. What was your favorite?
What was my favorite?
Yeah, like you had the most, doing this one was like the ultimate.
Well, my first one, my first film was on Dwight Anderson out of Dayton, Ohio. Dwight was the #1 player in the nation in 1978 amongst guys that are Hall of Famers, Mark Aguirre,
really,
Dominic Wilkins, Isaiah Thomas. He was the number 1 player in the country. Now, how much time we got?
Man, we got, bro. Come on, roll. We rolling, bro.
Okay, all
right.
Do
your one too.
So, I was going to write a story about Dwight, but when people talked about him, it was so descriptive. I mean, his nickname was the Blur. So, with somebody with a nickname like that and the way they described, I said this had to be on a film.
Gotcha.
Again, for the background, so Dwight, #1 player in the country in '78. His senior year, he averaged like 30-something points, 14 rebounds, and 12 assists. He was a guard. He was 6'3". And
wait, that's Ohio? He was here in Ohio?
Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, you did say that. My bad.
Yeah, that's okay. Yep, Dayton Raw. So Dwight, he went to Kentucky, and he had this great game against Notre Dame. It was during like the Christmas holidays. And if you remember the great announcer, Al McGuire.
Yeah.
And Al McGuire described him. He said, "A star is born, Dwight Anderson." I mean, he just had this great game. Dwight ended up leaving Kentucky. It was some controversy with him leaving. He transfers to USC. He goes to USC. He has this shot. It's in the film, and you can see it on YouTube, where he's going out of bounds and he shoots the ball over the backboard, and it goes right in.
What?
Incredible shot.
To this day, I thought Bird was the only one that had done something, or like Dr. J, that movie he did under the basket. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But Dwight was the first. So Dwight was at USC. This was during the crack epidemic hitting Los Angeles. Dwight, unfortunately, got hooked on drugs. He still got drafted, which was incredible.
That's a testament to how good he was.
Yes, he still gets drafted. He played CBA, played overseas. He ended up being homeless. And
wow,
when I went to do the story on him, I had to find him. I had to go down to Dayton and find him. And I remember going down to Dayton, just walking different streets and talking to people, and he might be over here, he might be over there. And I ended up talking to somebody there in town. I gave him my number. I said, "You see Dwight, call me." And he ended up calling me. He was working at a church, doing security at a church. And the pastor there, he told him, he said, well, they got him a place to stay. They said, "You stay clean, work here, we'll help you through." So decided to do the story. I didn't know anything about shooting, editing, producing, nothing. I said, but I'm going to learn.
Gotcha.
And I talked to some friends that were in the business, and I said, "Hey, I don't have any money, but let's try to get this done." And the best thing is that, remember Cedric Tony? He got a cup of coffee with the Cavs. He's from Dayton. And
I didn't know that either.
And Cedric said to me, he says, "Well, if you're going to do this documentary on Dwight, he needs to be clean." He said he needs to get to rehab facility. So I called John Lucas. He has that facility in Houston. And Lucas said, "Hey," he said, "you get him here. Don't worry about the fee, whatever, just get him here."
Gotcha.
And so we sent him a one-way ticket, sent him to Houston. He got clean. He comes back. We finished the film.
Wow.
And Dwight ended up helping people in town. He was doing camps. We went around the state and the country, showing the film and helping others that may have been abusers, drug abusers. One of the things, we came to Cleveland once, and I won't name the high school. And Dwight and I, whenever we would have these speaking engagements, we would have I'd come out, talk about the film, show the film, then I'd come out, and then someone would always say, well, where's Dwight? How's Dwight? And then he would come out from backstage.
Yeah.
We went to a high school here in Cleveland. The kids talked throughout the film, weren't paying attention. Their teacher had to turn it off several times to tell them, "Look, you guys got to be quiet. You got to watch this." And as soon as the film was over, instead of me doing the Dwight come out later, he came right out, cussed them out. And he told, and he basically told them, he said, "Look, I didn't go through that to not help you all and for you all not to listen to me." And they were big-eyed. And they did selfies and got autographs afterwards.
Oh, wow. Shout out for that.
Yeah. So Dwight made an impact. And unfortunately, he died of COVID a year. Let me see. That was in September 20. He passed.
Wow, man.
But
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you were able to tell a story.
Yeah, and he got clean. And that was important.
I was just getting ready to say that too, man. Because when you found him, he probably was like incredulous, like, huh?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It was
because and for a lot of guys like that, man, my son and I, we go back and forth constantly because I got him, like I reading books, like I said, about the boys of Dunbar. I got this one book called Heaven is a Playground. Talk about the Flatbush stories, Fly Williams and all them type of dudes. You know what I'm trying to say? And then the Dunbar cats, man, out of all them dudes that all went through that high school, every last dude that came out of there that I read about in the book, I can't remember everybody's name, Reggie Lewis, all of them, they spoke in the book, and they all said the same thing about this Skip Wise, man. They said Skip Wise was a bad dude, so we know about Pee Wee Kirkland, obviously, and Earl Manigault and all of them type of, and Albert King, Foster Park, and all of them type of dudes. But I be telling them, I said, man, this is why you hear guys like, we definitely got to get your thoughts, man, on this whole GOAT debate and all that old type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because in my opinion, ain't no such thing as one guy being so much better than everybody else, But I've heard Jordan and Kobe be asked, that question, and they defer with no hesitation. Like, no, man, I didn't get to play against them and all of that. And then Mike, it was either Kobe or Mike, one of them once said one time, like, and I think it was Mike. He was like, dude, he was like, it was dudes who didn't never get a chance to get in, come to hit the league and could have played in this league. He said, my brother used to whoop my, you know what I'm trying to say? And it made me think about them backyard ballers, man, who didn't get that shot, who unfortunately, you know, life in the streets, you know, got hold of them and had more of a stronger pull.
And I would tell before we show the film, you know, when we would go in front of colleges or high schools or camps or anything like that, and I would always start off and tell them, I don't care how good you think you are. This guy was number one in the nation amongst guys that are Hall of Famers. Before doing the film, I went to the pre-draft camp in Chicago, and we do it every year, covering the NBA. You go to the pre-draft camp. Back in those days, the guys would really play a lot, and the scouts and former players, they all be in Moody Bible Gym. And I remember, I remember asking before I did the film, I asked Cedric Tony. I said, man, you know, you talk about Dwight, because I had never seen Dwight play.
Gotcha.
And I said, you know, was he that good? And he says, well, don't believe me. Come on in the room. We go to Dominique. He says, Dominique, tell him about Dwight. And Dominique went off. He takes me to Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas goes off. He takes him to Mark Aguirre. Mark Aguirre said he was the MVP as soon as he walked in the gym amongst guys that are now in the Hall of Fame. And again, with the nickname The Blur, that just tells you, tells you all it is. And he played against Jordan once. Kentucky played North Carolina. And I don't remember the statistics, and they didn't check each other all the time, but they, you know, did at some point. You know, Jordan might have had, you know, 18, Dwight might have had 16. I mean, it was, you know, it was like really close.
Back and forth.
Right. And as one guy said, I don't care how good you are, how are you going to defend a world-class sprinter? And that's what Dwight was.
Oh, my God. Oh, well,
that?
Man. Shout out for that. My God. Yeah. Hey, Coach. Hey, I'll have what he's having and make mine a double. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm gonna be like Vernon Maxwell one day. I'm like, man, Coach, I ain't guarding that, man. I'm not guarding that, man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody come get this dude, man.
Right.
No wonder. World class. Man, people underestimate track and what it can do for you in all other sports, what it can do for you. Earl Boykins ran track. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Yeah, man. Again, man, I just, you know, kudos to all of them cats. You know, I was 14, man. I got a chance to play at the Rucker. They was having it wasn't no tournaments and nothing going on at the time. But you could feel that when you got into Harlem, you could feel that renaissance, man. You know what I'm saying? And I got to that court, man. I was like, oh, I mean, I ain't gonna sit here and lie and say I ain't about to say I would drop no 40. Some of y'all be out here capping. Okay. I'm trying to say I probably dropped 4 on the floor, is what I'm trying to say. But they was like, "Dad, young fella, I see you out here, you know." But one thing I'm going when I hit that line, you gonna know you in front of one. You know what I mean? Good or bad, up or down. We're gonna be here all day. You know what I mean? So I got my respect for getting out there, being a hustle man type of deal. But man, them dudes, right now. One thing about New York City cats, most of them, not all of them, they got handles, man, but they can't hit a bull in the backside with a jump for nothing to say they like.
And they like to grab and
you do that to them, it's a foul. You know what I'm trying to say? Well, you ain't no foul. Yeah, come on, man. But that's the blacktop circuit for you though. You know, I told my son that too. I said, man, excuse me. I said Roy Henson and Earl and Oak and all they used to come up to Woodhill, you know, on a regular, bro. You know, we saw them we saw them dudes. That wasn't nothing new. I said, but they said they used to come to the blacktop, man, because that's that toughness. You know what I'm saying? I said, but you playing the league. He's like, man, but this right here, cats be trying to make a name for themselves off you and all of that. So you gonna get roughed up. You know what I mean? But again, man, shout out to all of them ballers, man, that never did get a chance. But who most definitely, according to the guys we all talk about, say that them guys could have did it. You know what I mean? That's why I say you don't. when it comes to that GOAT conversation, man, you can't. My answer would be what Jordan's and Kobe's was, not because I'm a Jordanaire or whatever they call it, a Kobe fan, all that. I respect both of them's games or whatnot, but because Mike was like, man, you can make no comparisons when the circumstances surrounding are not equal. You know, guys were shorter or the league was slower, whatever the case may be.
The rules.
Thank you. So how's that even a conversation? Y'all just want to be, somebody just want to be right. Okay, well, that's what the case. Yeah, you can have that. You can have that. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna have more talk with my man B-Dub, Branson Wright. That's right. You understand what I'm saying? We're gonna get into some of the sports talk too. Ask him a little bit more about some of these documentaries, Cleveland, and get his thoughts on Shaquille O'Neal. We're back. We'll be right back. Don't y'all touch it.
Cleaning the cracks on your pavement surfaces can take hours and be torturous on your body. Until now. Bi-Cracky Weed Removal Tool was designed specifically to clean pavement cracks in a fraction of the time, all while standing up. Bi-Cracky's patented design incorporates a two-sided steel blade and is encased by a durable fiberglass shell. Simply use the large end to clean big gaps, then rotate and use the small tip for narrow gaps. Made in the USA, Bi-Cracky eliminates weeds to the root and is environmentally friendly. Bi-Cracky. Save your back while you clean your crack.
All right, we're back. We're going to throw up some of these documentaries right quick. Double J, are you going to join us today or no? Are you sitting back there on the Lucia? What you doing? My gosh. Can we roll the tape, please?
I've been waiting for you to say so.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so I was out of... Let me give myself a button. All righty then, roll the tape.
And it's either you're going to win and advance and go on to win a state championship, or you're going to lose and go home and watch them go on and win a state championship.
They always had all these super athletes.
Well, I've always felt that rivalries are what get you up in the morning. One side was Moeller, one side was Princeton, and I called it the king of the block.
Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. Let the other guy lose.
All right, shout out, B. I'll see you. Man, what was it like, though, chopping it with Pete Rose, man? And are you in agreement with him getting into the Hall of, potentially being able to get into the Hall of Fame with him releasing him for whatever it was? We talked about it. I can't even remember. Posthumously, finally, as opposed to him doing it while he was alive.
Well, let me give you context and answer it this way. I'm a native, born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
And I grew up watching the Big Red Machine. And Pete Rose is my favorite baseball player.
Got you.
So you know what my answer is going to be.
Holla at him, B. Holla.
Absolutely. He should be in the Hall of Fame. And Rob Parker is a friend. Rob Parker has a vote. And Rob Parker and I debate about this all the time. And, in a friendly way.
Yeah, got you.
He's my guy. But, hey, his ball is in the Hall of Fame. His records are in the Hall of Fame. His bat is in the Hall of Fame. You recognize that he is the all-time hit king and he had a Hall of Fame career. We're not saying Pete did some things he shouldn't have done. I think he should have admitted it earlier. But it's not a good guy award. It's a Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
On you as a player, your playing ability. It's not, okay, he was a good guy. All right, so since he was a good guy, let's let him in. He couldn't play, but he was a good guy. No. You want him in that is a great player. With his, what he does as far as, not something that, we look up to. That's one thing. But as a player, he should be in. And now with gambling being so common, I mean.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, it's illegal. Hey, I'm tell my kids, don't do it. I can do it, but you can't do it. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. I ain't trying to buy it. So then what about Clemens and Bonds and Sosa, McGuire and all of them? You in agreement with them too getting in?
Yeah. I mean, let them in, man. I mean, at the time, baseball looked the other way when they were taking those drugs. But let's go back. I mean, the spitball. was done a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
baseball is the kind of sport where you would do anything you can
To get an advantage.
to get an edge.
Yeah.
But Barry Bonds, look at his numbers without the so-called steroid.
Yeah, when he's with the Pirates. Yep.
He still had Hall of Fame numbers.
Yeah,
I mean,
no
he was
question.
a great player. Mark McGwire, great player. I mean, these are great players.
Yeah, man, I'm so glad you said that, man, because we've had debates, not necessarily we've had them on the show, but we kind of, when it comes to something that makes sense, we kind of all be in agreement, but you can't have a really decent show when everybody's in agreement all the time type of deal. But even off air, man, with people, it was like, he cheated the game, he did this, and like you said, he did something that I mean, I'm not condoning, and I'm not saying every player does it, but corruption and sports, they go hand in hand. What I'm saying? I'm telling people no sporting event is completely left up to chance. Once upon a time, man, when I was 10 years old, bro, and the Browns lost the drive, I was older, of course, but I'm just saying when I was younger than I am now, man, I would be mad, didn't want to go to school. I was caught up in it. But once I start reading stuff like Tim Donaghy's Personal Foul, The League by John Eisenberg, Jerry Kramer's book with the Packers and stuff, I'm like, when you start reading, and Jim Brown's autobiographies, but from the players and guys who play, so you give you a different perspective. Then I read up on Arnold Rothstein. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, right.
And let's not talk about boxing. You see what I'm trying to say? They're playing for the Boston College squad. And I'm not saying everybody does it, but bruh, it's just I'm with you, man. To have everything else of his in there, but not put him in there that's a oxymoron, conundrum, walking confusion. You know what I'm trying to say? Hypocrite. Yeah. Oh wow, yeah. But again, man, I know that had to be fun. Working with them guys, man. What about Herb Street? Is he pretty cool dude?
Oh, Herb's is a great guy. He's a great guy, and it was, once I did research to find out that he actually lived in Cincinnati for a bit. It was young.
Okay.
Then when his parents got divorced, and then that's when him with his mother, they moved to Centerville. But
okay, gotcha.
But he talked about he would have went to either Moeller or Princeton if he would have stayed in Cincinnati. And the fact that he beat Princeton, and that helped him get recruited to Ohio State. He had this great game, and he scored the winning touchdown by running.
And wow, yeah, boys, things you didn't know. You talk about Cincinnati, man. You familiar with Cape?
Oh, absolutely.
Man, it was a dude, and I've said this before on the show. It's not something I'm proud of by no means, but I talked about my past a time or two, and I was incarcerated years and years ago, late 80s, early 90s. And man, I was locked up with a dude, man. And he actually taught me how to work out. Now, way back then, I was younger, and I started working out, in there, that's what you do type of deal. And he showed me how to lift weights. He showed me how to eat or whatever it is, but he was a running back for Cape. Man, I had never seen somebody built like that, man. This dude looked like Barry Sanders. You know what I'm trying to say? I was like, man, what you doing? He, running back. And he told me he went to Cape. And I didn't know at the time that they was like a sort of kind of like a football powerhouse too back then, I believe.
Oh yeah, and they were a small school, and to this day, the best high school running back that I had ever seen in person was Carlos Snow, who went to Ohio State. Yes. And he went to Cape. Never saw him play a full game. He'd have 200 yards at halftime. And they take him out of the game. Vinnie Clark was on that team.
Okay.
With Carlos Snow. And what was the good thing about Cape is they were small. They probably had maybe 30 some odd players. But out of those 30 players, all of them ran a 4.8 or better, except for maybe 4 or 5 guys. So they killed you with speed. They were small. Their offensive linemen were probably 190 pounds, but they were fast. They were just such a fast team. And it was a joy watching them. And, unfortunately, politics is the reason why there's no more Cape. people complained. People complained because before open enrollment, they had open enrollment because of Cape's specialty. If you lived in the Cincinnati area, anybody could go
Got
there.
you. So like a Benedictine, maybe.
Except they were public school.
Okay, got you. Okay, got you.
And so some people complained about that. Oh, they can recruit. Well, Moeller had been recruiting, forever. So why complain? And
now
it was good academics. They had the best academic grade point average of all the public schools in Cincinnati.
Really? I was going to say that too. He was very highly intelligent. He was a reader too. That's how me and him got cool at first. You know what I mean? We used to share, books. Man, what you reading, man? What you reading? The type of deal, whatever it is.
So it was a great school, man. And they, in fact, you go back, Sports Illustrated did an article on them about Cape.
Really?
About it was this big experiment. Here's this school with academics and sports. People that wanted to be trainers would go to Cape. Kinesiology, they taught that. I mean, it was they were ahead of the curve, and unfortunately,
it reminded me of
them closing
like aviation aviation high school here too. Just sitting over there on the lakefront down there. You know what I mean? That used to be a good school too. It's unfortunate, man. Programs like that. Like how do programs like that not be in existence?
So it's interesting you guys point this out, because right now what's unfolding here in the state of Michigan is you look at the volume of state titles at the high school level won by quote unquote private schools versus their public counterparts. Now, when the public counterparts get sustained success. So you look at Belleville High School, literally across the street from me. You see Bryce Underwood, #1 national player of the year, Gatorade player of the year, going now to Michigan as a product of there. You've seen current Penn State basically littered with SEC and Big Ten talent out of a school of choice. They put restrictions on the program originally and made them change their head coach. It did not slow them down. And so to your point, I, of course, have a friend, Rico Middlebrooks, who coaches he went to Hughes in Cincinnati, but coaches Hilltop Hawks, I know, out there. He's been doing it for about a decade or so. So just kind of hearing that in Ohio, of course, obviously, Barbershop Jay, I showed you, some of those recent rivalries that were causing more widespread conversation beyond, once the game had concluded. So I'm intrigued on your thoughts behind this, because it clearly has been going on for quite some time.
Well, even beyond that, you have in some states, like in Texas, where the private schools and the public schools have their own state tournament, which in somewhat I can agree to it if the playing field is not level, where the private schools, it's wide open to recruit. But in some ways, the public schools now are kind of closing the gap, especially in cities, like Cincinnati and really like Cleveland now.
Cleveland, yeah.
Where no matter where you live in
Glenville,
the radius of the city, you can go wherever you want to go, and giving kids choices.
Yeah.
And, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because when I said Glenville, because Ted Ginn kind of leveled the playing field a little bit for inner city type. You know what I'm saying? Because it was St. Ed's and St. Ignatius, and Hoban down the road, and all of them schools. Them the ones I used to hear about in the USA Today top 25. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, here come Glenville type of deal. So yeah.
And then the unfortunate thing about Glenville in the Senate, if you're a good football player in the Senate, where are you going?
Glenville.
Going to Glenville.
Yeah.
So and Ginn hasn't lost a Senate game since 1997.
Dang, I didn't even know that. Dang.
1997.
Dang, that's 422 years, baby. I'm just saying. Man, he's been around since longer than Eddie, Coach Rob, may he rest, Joe Paterno, and the rest of them. My gosh.
Yeah.
That's Don Shula right there.
Yeah, against East Tech.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man.
Amazing.
And when we talk about I know it's not high school, but it made me think about what's going on on the college football landscape. In particular, this whole NIL and then the portal thing, man. What are your thoughts, B? Is the NIL and the portal, is it a good thing, bad thing?
Well, it's always a good thing when players that deservingly can get compensated for making their schools money. I mean, if before the TV contracts and all of this big money into college sports, and it was you can get your education, okay, I agree with that. But once they're getting these I didn't say million, $1 billion contracts, and coaches are getting paid, schools are getting paid, and you have these players that aren't getting a piece of the pie at all. I mean, yes, you said that their education, that's fine, but they should get some type of compensation for their labor. I think there needs to be some kind of control, though. You don't want it to be the wild, wild west. One things people have thought about having some type of czar over all of college sports, and at least to just to get some kind of balance,
some structure
to it. Yeah, get some structure.
But do you think the schools would be better off policing themselves, so to speak?
No.
Okay.
No.
You said no, huh?
No. They didn't do a good job of that before all of this.
Okay. Got
right.
you. Okay.
That self punishment. They get busted for recruiting violations.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to do a self punishment. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Got you.
So if they can get some kind of control that way, let the athletes get paid for what they're doing, and also the transfer portal. I think there needs to be some control over that. Now, I can understand a kid, for example, he goes to Michigan. Since you're in Michigan, Double J, I'll use that as an example. So he goes to Michigan, and after his second year, he's like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to ever play. It's all these guys in front of me. So I'm going to transfer to Eastern Michigan, where I know I'm going to play. But the kid that goes to Michigan, transfers to Eastern Michigan, transfers to Central Michigan, transfer to Miami, Ohio.
Yeah.
It's like, I think there needs to be, you can transfer, but if you transfer another time, I think you need to sit out. I think just so it won't be so much.
Just like a revolving door type of thing, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because then you think back in the day, if a guy didn't start, he worked hard. Maybe he didn't start his freshman year. Maybe he didn't start his sophomore year. But by the time his junior year, he became a starter. He worked hard. He got to that point. He got his degree. And he wasn't ready just to run off because the coach made him mad. So, so there's a little bit of balance of it. I mean, I can understand a kid transferring in some instances, but school after school after school, I think that's a bit much.
No, I'm with you on that. We're going to get to this comment right quick. Mrs. Alva, shout out to Mrs. A in the building today. She says, speaking of private school state championship, Double J tells me I do not brag enough, but I won states in high school with my basketball team for my very small private school. How come? But I didn't get tickets though, so I'm trying to figure out what else. Let me give you a button for that.
I was in the public sector, so.
Oh yeah, you was in the public sector, man. Oh yeah, you about to make me say something. Don't make me say nothing to you right quick. Let's. Yeah, okay. That's what we finna do here. Let's get in a little bit some more of this little sports talk right quick. Aaron Rodgers is a Steeler. I just want to know, man. Oh yeah, don't nod your head like that because I know you parlay Jay over there. That one right there. Yeah, okay. Did he really tell the Pittsburgh folk that had they drafted Shador that he wasn't coming? He wasn't going to come there?
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Or is that rumor?
From my understanding, that's what I'm at. From my understanding, he said it.
Well, I can agree with him. And I'm shocked that the Steelers didn't draft Shador when they had the opportunities to do it. And all these rumors about he didn't interview well and all that kind of garbage. That's garbage. And Steelers had an opportunity to get him, to get a young quarterback a good quarterback and developing. But because I think Aaron Rodgers.
That's something the Browns do, don't it? Ain't it? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm just saying.
No, the Browns get 5 quarterbacks. That's
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's just like uncanny of the Steelers. You know what I mean? They are like the model or the epitome of stability in my football lifetime. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
You know, they didn't have 3 head coaches in 700,000 years. Oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, the Browns, anyway, I'm just saying we're gonna get to them in a minute. But
just to add some more context, this is from the Sun itself. Is that
what Sun? The newspaper?
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
That Aaron did influence the decision once during the time frame where the handshake agreement between Shador and Pittsburgh had taken place.
Oh wow!
Now,
So
Art Rooney has said no, they prioritized a different position over quarterback, but that's somebody who's been in the game for a very long time.
That might not be. I mean, I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? I respect the Steelers because they have been as an organization, and again, in my lifetime, what I wanted the Browns to be. You know what I'm saying? And some
stability.
Yeah, some. All right, shout out to my man JG. JG, what it do? I am saying that right? I'm just gonna say JG. You ain't about to have me butcher nobody's names on this program. I love how the NFL used Sanders for views on the draft and degraded him. Now the NFL can't stop posting about him slowly creeping up to win the number 1 spot in Cleveland. Either way, Browns are an awesome team for him. They're stacked. All they needed was a quarterback. Well,
No, they need more than that.
Yeah, I would say that too. We've said of course we talked the NFL throughout the years on the show, and I've mentioned this a time or two. So forgive me all for folks out there watching for being redundant or regurgitating or however y'all want to put that. But I mentioned what Tony Dungy said in his book about Quiet Storm, I think was the title of the book. We talked about building an NFL organization. Obviously he was with the Buccaneers and the Colts and whatever the case, right? He said any pick can be a hit or miss regardless of when and where picked. He said the key to a draft or organization on a come up in the NFL is, do you have the structure or front office or people in place who understand how to minimize the risk? The Browns do not have that. I'm sorry. I get it. Kevin Stefanski won Coach of the Year 14 times, because this guy that ain't on camera right now, him and this other guy, Brother Rich, they try to argue me down.
Man.
Don't do that, Double J, because we got B-Dub here. He one of the fellas. He get down too. So don't get all you know what I'm saying? Yeah, don't get to doing none of that. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Get on this screen here.
Well, now wait a minute. Just for clarity here, I offered this guy tickets to the game.
B, hold up. Stop right there. Give me a 20-second. He offered me tickets. B, I'm 55 years old. I just got my AARP card.
Which game?
Pick one. There were a few.
Yeah, it was a few. He invited me to a few. But he don't understand. Bro, I got my AARP card. I'll take Metamucil. And when I go to the grocery store looking for bread, I end up in the Depends aisle, is what I'm trying to tell y'all. I can't sit down there like that no more, man. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. I mean, that might have been too much. Yeah, I know, B. I'm taking me a drink too. That might have been too much information. But hey, bro, I said, bro, invite me to Shady Acres event. Everybody got hover around or something.
Well,
I'm trying to say.
What I started to understand is our host here it prefers to be elevated. Some of the views that you've had, Branson here of late in the skybox, that's more his cup of tea apparently.
Yeah,
my 100
Absolutely.
levels we're not good enough for his
Absolutely.
liking.
First and second of all, to the fifth of all, it was maybe 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago now. It was Channel 8 did a story on it, I believe. I know it was in the newspaper. It was some Ravens reporters or something. They came to a Browns game and sat in a Browns section or whatever it is and got beat up.
That was There was another story, Dennis Maniloff.
Okay.
He did a story. He dressed in a Ravens jersey and
Okay.
sat in a dog pound.
Okay.
He didn't get physically attacked, but people looked at him. People said things. I think maybe threw popcorn on him. It was, and he was in disguise.
Yeah, bro. Listen,
that's dangerous.
yeah, bro. You don't. B, would you tell him how municipal was back in the day against the Steelers, bro?
That's before my time.
Oh, okay.
But my wife is from Pittsburgh, and my brother-in-law, he was afraid to come to Steelers Browns games here just from what he heard.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you,
just
bro.
From what he heard.
I'm trying to tell them. I'll be trying to tell them, man. They don't understand. I get it. That Bears, Packers, yeah. That Ohio State, Michigan, yeah. But that Browns, Steelers, man, go all the way back to Turkey Jones dumping Bradshaw in his dome. I'm trying to tell you, boy. Yeah, bruh. It was after a Steelers game, bruh. A fight broke out. I forget by gate D or whatever it was. When you get outside, you can go up the walkway or toward the right. Was going towards the lake. Man, a fight, bruh. In the aftermath, a fan had, I don't know if it was a Steelers fan, Cleveland, but somebody got killed, bruh.
What?
Yes. Somebody got killed. Yes. This was in the 80s. Matter of fact, it was somewhere, I don't know if it was the same game, but it was somewhere around it because I think the Browns had won the division that particular year. Yeah, and it wasn't the same game, but if Felix Wright dumped Don Beebe, if you remember, it's like a NFL Films play when they show them type of famous hits or whatever they call it.
Right.
Don Beebe got flipped upside down and he came down on the crown of his head and his neck went in. I thought he had when he landed, I thought he was done. You know, I thought he had broke his neck. But that, that was Kelso who used to wear the extra big helmet. He was wearing the Guardian cap before Guardian caps was Guardian caps. You know what I'm trying to say? Kelso's head was this big, but his helmet was like celebrity.
Had a kazoo helmet.
Yeah, he so did. You know what I'm saying? That boy's out there. He made 48 tackles in the game one time. I'm just saying, hold on. We get to this comment here. JG said again, back on Rodgers. Will they make the playoffs? That offensive line, excuse me, is what scares me for the old man of quarterback, but their defense is still solid as always. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't see why they don't, B. I don't see why they don't. You know what I mean?
There's no question about them making the playoffs. It's just, are they going to lose in the first round again? You know, that's the thing with the Steelers. And at some point, I mean, they never fire their coaches. I mean, there's no concern there. But I think Steeler fans are getting quite a little antsy. You know, they're not used to leaving in the first round when it comes to the postseason.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You guys may.
We are. Yeah, go ahead and say it. Yeah, Cleveland is
just simply handed that to them in a gift basket between Cleveland and Cincinnati. I don't know who else is trying to just pave the yellow brick road for Pittsburgh to make the playoffs again.
Well, Cincinnati ain't gonna have no defense. So yeah, Cincinnati, they ain't gonna have no defense. All they score is gonna be 99 to 95.
Right, and the Ravens will win the division again.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I do. I think so too. We're gonna take another break. When we come back, I got a question I want to ask the fellas. We're gonna continue. Excuse me, with some more of the sports talk. Don't y'all touch that button. We'll be right back. Double J. Yep.
I'm Jordan Gudeman, and I'm the founder and CEO of Eddie G's Cookies. I was first diagnosed with a nut allergy when I was young. At the time, there weren't a lot of labeled items that said if there may contain nuts or there are nuts in the food, so my brother and sister and I baked a lot at home, and we enjoyed treats from mixes and things like that, but I noticed that it was not the same as what my friends were enjoying, and I started making up my own recipes. When it was time to pick a career, I decided to start a bakery so I could share my treats with everybody else. When I started creating my recipe, I was taking in all the things that I thought I was missing out on. A soft, chewy center, a crisp outside crust, and a taste that is just like it came out of the oven at a bakery. When I put all those things together, I had come up with a recipe for a dream cookie. Eddie G's Cookies only uses the finest ingredients. We have all natural flavorings, no preservatives, and every cookie is made in a nut-free environment. The best part about Eddie G's cookies is that they can be delivered right to your door. You can share them or not. We won't tell.
That's right. We are back. Get your Eddie G's cookies. That's right. At eddiegscookies.com, amazon.com, or go up there and holler at Double J. He'll give y'all one, maybe a little morsel or one sprinkle. I still ain't got mine. Yeah. Ha 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 Helen. Unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Yeah, I want to get right quick. I heard Chris Canty on. I don't listen to them all the time, but sometimes when I'm going, am I coming from work? I think because they're in the morning. I work night shift, okay, so I don't know my Mondays from my Wednesdays no more. But when I'm coming from work, every now and again I'm catching him and some lady named Michelle, somebody, and I forget the other guy's name. But they were talking about the AFC West and Patrick Mahomes, and I just thought it was interesting. I said, man, I'm gonna ask them on the show tonight. Canty was basically saying that Patrick Mahomes is in the AFC. He said Patrick Mahomes is still AFC supremacy. But he says the AFC West, he thinks that division will be in the conversation, not only in the playoff conversation, the whole division this year, but it's in the same conversation as you would be ordinarily, like we say about the NFC North or the AFC North. What you think, B?
Oh,
you
yeah.
too, Double J.
The teams are definitely getting stronger. And if you go to my Facebook page, you know, Jay, that I'm a Raider guy.
And
so the Raiders are improved.
Yeah.
I'm not, predicting them to go to the playoffs or anything, but the Raiders are improved. Harbaugh, as much as I don't like him because he's a Michigan guy, but Harbaugh is a great coach, and Harbaugh will have the Chargers even better. So it's not going to be a cakewalk as the Chiefs have been used to in recent years. And, this could possibly be the start of them start to fall, or at least get challenged a little bit when it comes to the division.
Yeah, that's interesting, because one of the other things that they said in regards to what you just said was Travis Kelce. Like even though they were in the Super Bowl, like he ain't really looked like the Travis Kelce that we used to seeing type of deal. You know what I'm saying? And they were wondering if his decline, if he's on the decline, and if he's on the decline, let me say that fast 3 times, right? What does that do in the way of his production? You know what I mean? And will him and Mahomes still have that connection? I just think Mahomes is he's just special. He's just special. You know what I mean? So
he is. He's certainly special. And speaking of Kelce, I was surprised that he decided to come back for another year. I really thought. Yeah, I think he slowed down. I mean, he's still elite.
He's
still one of the top 5 tight ends. He's still elite. But I think he slowed down, and I just wondered if he was going to play another year. I mean, I thought he was going to, since his brother had retired last year, and I thought that maybe that he would do the same. But but we know Kelce, he's a baller, and I'm sure he doesn't want to go out the way he did. Now, if they won the Super Bowl, maybe he would have retired.
Yeah, got you. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, Mahomes is just special. But do you think, no, let me say it this way. Would you have liked to have seen the Raiders get Shedeur?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out. Yeah, shout out for that. Yeah, for sure.
I was, my buddy Delvis Valentine. I told him, I had told Delvis.
Y'all still do the Sports Brothers?
No, we haven't. Okay. We haven't done that in almost 10 years now.
Oh wow, really?
7 years, at least 7.
Man, I'm anxious here, ain't I?
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah, right.
And so I was predicting. I said, man, the Raiders are gonna get a chance to get him. Tom Brady, works Shedeur out. He loves him. I said, man, this could be a match made in heaven, but. And as we know, draft night, he dropped down, and Raiders didn't get him, Steelers didn't get him, and a whole bunch of other teams.
So let us get to the $1 million questions. parentheses S, about Shedeur and the Browns. Okay, Branson, this guy over here, right? Him and Brother Rick, they used to come in the barbershop. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry, yeah, that guy. Him and Brother Rich give me the business. I said, I'm trying to tell y'all about Cleveland, bro. I am a wait and see type of fan nowadays. I'm a wait and see. Every year for all my life, people are like, man, we go in the shop, Dre, and man, Jay, what you think the Browns gonna do? Same thing they do every year, try and take over the world. Yeah, Pinky. Anyway, I'm just saying, bro, I get tired of saying, man, I think they're gonna make this move, make that move, and they end up 3-14 every year. You know, like what's the point? You know what I'm trying to say? But all of the talk obviously is centered around the quarterbacks in the Browns camp this year, right? And two things stand out to me in particular. One, what can we really say about the guys now and what they're doing, given that they're in shirts and shorts? Because a former player told me shirts and shorts is cool and all of that. He said, but this one them put them pads on. You know what I'm trying to say? He said, them guys you see flying around in shorts, you put them pads on, it'd be like, where's Waldo? Okay. So, what can we really make of it at this point, man? And do you think the Browns really wanted Shedeur?
Oh, that's two good questions. Well, one, the shirts and shorts, all that has become now is just these teams getting to know each other, especially for rookies coming in, learning the plays, getting some reps in, and we're just, it's OTAs. It's getting to know each other. That's what it is. It's not football, and nothing even close to football. Looks like football, smells like football, but it's not football. And your question was, do you think the Browns really wanted Shedeur?
Yeah.
I think they did. And I think as whatever conspiracy was going on with the NFL, letting him drop as much as he did, I'm sure the Browns at a point were surprised that, like, what? He's still there? Well, let's grab him.
So give me your thoughts though on the whole Dylan Gabriel thing and the Pickett thing. I just don't understand it, B. I'm tired of trying to understand it.
Now this is gonna be crazy response.
That's what we here for.
When it comes to the Browns, you can never have enough quarterbacks.
Yeah. Thank you. I tried to tell that guy. Yeah, I tried to tell him, Brother Rich, oh man, their defense is gonna tops in the league. I said, man, bro, you don't understand with the Browns. I seen Elway do it all the time. I come to expect it. Okay. So I'm just trying to tell you, I really do.
You don't have enough. Let's put them in there and let's just see what they can do. Let them compete. And a lot of coaches, what they like, Urban Meyer was a big proponent of competition. Let guys compete. That makes you better. So you have these 5 quarterbacks in, and let them go at it. Let's see who rises to the top. And somebody in training camp somewhere is going to get hurt. Or during the preseason, somebody's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to get on the phone.
Yeah.
To call the Browns and say, hey, we'd like.
Yeah. ... Yeah. You know what I also wonder too? And I think we'll get to your comment here in a second. I see you up there. A lot of the media, yourself excluded, that be out at the camps all the time. They report the stories and the focus is on the pageantry. Oh, he threw a nice spiral in there. Okay, I get all of that. I get all of that. But what as a fan who got a long handle spoon, I would like to see or hear stuff like what I hear or heard about Jaden Daniels, for instance, in Washington, and what I'm now hearing about Cam Ward. The software that they're using, the technology that they're using, the immersive technology, this Oculus or whatever that thing is. And some guys in the Jets camps are using GoPros to put yourself as into the action as you possibly can to learn that position. It helped Jaden Daniels, and it seems to be, we won't know just yet until, right, that they get out there. But it seems to be like it may be working for Cam Ward too. Like, why aren't we hearing that type of stuff in the Browns camp? Why? All we hearing about is he threw a 95-yard dime. Okay, whoopie do.
Well, as you know, you've been here all your life. You've been a Browns fan all your life. You know, why aren't the Browns doing what some other people or teams or organizations have done to be successful?
Thank you.
It's like a broken record, but
yeah.
I don't want to say the Browns are being the Browns, but you know, I would say to be positive, and training camp will be here in July. You're going to have those 5 quarterbacks there. Flacco's going to start the season without question. And how long he'll be the starter, that remains to be seen. But, you know, I like it. 5 quarterbacks in there, go for it. Who's going to emerge as the number one guy?
How you divvy up the reps, though? That's what I'm trying to figure out, man. You know what I mean? Well, each guy get 10 reps a piece or something? Or one guy get 13 and the other guy get 11. How you divvy it up, man?
Well, not just besides the reps. Who knows the playbook? You know, who's being a leader in that huddle? You know, who are the receivers are like saying, man, he throws a nice ball. You know, I like this. So it's a lot of factors, you know, besides the reps. And that's why Flacco's going to be the guy to start. And then,
show me. I want to see from that position a guy who can play from under center, guy who can come up from under that center, turn his back to the back. I was saying, turn his back to the basket. Boy, I'm trying to tell you. turn his back to the defense. Okay, on more than one occasion. That shotgun ain't. I don't believe in that every trip, every possession type of deal. And a guy at that position who can more often than not throw receivers open. Because I'm, you know, I mean, and I know we say X, Y, and Z, ball placement and all that type of stuff, but and then a lot of this is on the receivers nowadays too. And then people are like, well, you don't know, you ain't played in the NFL. No, I have not. Okay, but it's levels for real. But the essence of the sport is still the same. Football is football, basketball is basketball, that type of stuff. And there's a technique that goes to all of it that's necessary for every level. Okay, I'm just speaking of technique. Receivers, pay attention. Every catch got to be a basket catch. Every catch got to be a basket catch. Or a guy, man, when I talk about nuances, my sons be like, oh my God, here he come again. They don't want it, because I'll have you in the middle of a game. I'll be rewinding live TV. Like, did you see why that guy did this and that? They'd be like, man, can we just watch the game? You see a guy breaking the open and hit one of the sidelines, left or right? And I'm like, bruh, he about to fumble. No, he ain't, man. You hating on, bruh. He got the ball in the wrong hand. Every running back knows, at least the ones I grew up watching, Walter Payton, what's his name? Jim Thorpe. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Jim Thorpe. Yeah. Ray LaGrange, you know what I'm trying to say? Hopalong Cassidy, Forrestman, all of them guys.
Jim Thorpe.
Yeah, that was my hey, Jim had layup package, bro. Anyway, y'all need to know that. I'm just saying. But when these guys hit the sideline, man, they keep the ball in the hand towards the field. The ball should be in the sideline hand. Whatever sideline you hit, the ball got to hit the. That's why Saquon, and I don't know if I like him being on the cover of I don't know. I ain't big on
the cover.
Saquon, man.
I can't keep him on my fantasy team then.
Oh man, I don't like that cover, man.
Nope.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Antonio Brown was
I could
trending.
see what they was really saying. I said, man, I didn't want him on the cover. But you know, at the end of the day, man, some of the time I want to see the technique type of stuff. You know, when I used to go out to training camps with you know, another friend of our program, I just had to be quiet, man. Because what I'm looking for, you know, most people looking, again, chicks dig the long ball. I get it. But nowadays, dudes do too. I'm just saying, man. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, bro. You know what I mean? Settle down there, Kimosabi. Settle on down. But we turn our attention now to some of this NBA talk. You're sitting here listening to Shop Report Barbershop J, and with our special guest today, Branson Wright, aka B-Dub. That's right. You are listening to and Double J. My bad. The guy keeps disappearing on us every day. Pacers and Thunder. Did you expect to see this as a finals B?
No, I didn't expect that at all.
Are you into it?
Surprisingly, I am. When before the series, I told people I'm not interested. I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah.
And I watched the first game and I was hooked.
I was hooked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually rooting for Indiana.
I am
I don't
too
know
lightweight.
why. I don't know why. Oklahoma City, a really good team. I think they're still young though. But I just think, and Rick Carlisle, he's such a great coach. And I think people are overlooking that, about his coaching ability. I picked Indiana in 7.
I did too.
I'm sticking with that. And tomorrow's game is going to be game 4 is going to be something.
I think so too. This whole talk about ratings too, when it comes to the NBA, is a big deal.
What is the ratings for this?
Double J would know that better than I would, bro. When I tell people all the time, nowadays, like the transmission on the 68 Buick that's been sitting in the garage too long, my memory be slipping, bro. I'm just letting you know. I be slipping, bro. You know what I'm saying? Man, bro, I had my car keys in my hand while I was on my way to work. I was like, man, where my car keys? And they jingling. I was looking for my car keys for 32 days. I went to work. They was like, you shouldn't even just came. She just called off. Yeah, okay. Oh my gosh. My daughter was like, Dad, they're in your hands. But go ahead, Double J. Enough about me.
Basically 4.7 for game 1, which is 8.9 million viewers. Unfortunately, it has not translated to what we're witnessing. It almost seems so. Game 3 was
like the games themselves are more, but the viewership is not.
Correct. Almost like the purity and purists have returned, but the bandwagon folks have not.
But they'll return too. All the people used to get back on the chuck wagon at some point. Man, you wasn't walking across. If you ain't had no horse, you was getting on the chuck wagon again, baby. I'm just trying to let you know.
I just feel like it's disappointing that that's the case, because arguably this is one of the best series that I've seen in quite some time.
But you got to factor in too, though, the attention span and this whole instant gratification thing and all the stuff that come connected with that, and scrolling and phones and all. Everybody's attention span is like a kaleidoscope of colors. It's all over the place. So the casuals, as you, or what'd you call them here? What'd you call them? Yeah, them folks, the ones who really just, the eventists, the ones who just go to a game so they can say, I went to the Cavs game and I seen Kobe, man, one of them type of folks. They're not really into the sport, bro. So yeah, but history repeats itself. So it's time for the purists to make a return, because what we're seeing here is ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's the lack of star power and what fans, who they're familiar with.
What about style of play? You think
style of play is great. You couldn't get anything better. Indiana loves to press, and Oklahoma City, not only, guys are shooting a 3, but SGA is a great mid-range player.
Yes,
so bringing
that's
some
a
of that
lost
old
start.
Back. Yes, big time lost start. So I just think it's a fact that a lot of fans aren't familiar with some of the stars in this game. There's stars. You got the MVP, but it's, we're talking LeBrons, the KDs, the usual names that people have gotten used to over the years. They're not playing. So, in fact, my 90-year-old mother-in-law said, who watches the games, and she says, you mean LeBron is not in and Steph Curry's not in? Oh,
wow.
So she's not that interested.
Wow. Yeah. And it's a lot of people like that. Yeah. I'm loving it, man, because we get to see basketball, like you mentioned, that purity of sorts. There's a lot of depth on both squads. Both squads play with enough of offense and defensive balance, in my opinion, to make the contest. So, I know the game the other day, game 3 was kind of a little bit, maybe double digits, I believe. Was game 2 double digits too? But they've been relatively, they've been watchable from start to finish. Then that'd be my litmus test for folks. I was like, can you sit down? I used to tell people, pick any game on the slate. I don't care which 2 teams, pick any game and you tell me, be honest, are you going to sit through that whole game for 48 minutes? No. Before halftime, you're going to be done got up and did something else, barbecued in the wintertime or something. I don't know. You're going to, you know what I'm trying to say, B?
Right. Exactly.
So I had, I'm standing on the gentleman's sweep, and I had suggested it.
How you gonna have a gentleman's sweep now? And the Pacers done won 2 games. Gentleman's sweep is 4-1, ain't it?
We very well could be on the pace for that. Pun intended.
Oh, okay. You cracked the funny. Breaking news.
If you looked at the end of the fourth quarters in particular. Game 1, game 3 have been the big difference makers. This is where, when you, Barbershop Jay, said it was a toss-up between the coaches, I scoffed a little bit.
No, I did not.
Oh, I will pull that tape, sir.
Hold on, B. See, this. Okay, see what I'm saying? I knew after he get a couple sips in, okay, then he get to talk in, crazy in. You know what I'm saying? No, what I said was, bro, you're talking to a basketball head. You're talking about Jay Wright, Villanova, Arkansas, Nolan Richardson, my favorite teams, Georgetown, that type. So I go Big East when they had 6 fouls. Don't play with me. I said Rick Carlisle, bro. Rick Carlisle and that Dirk run arguably was one of the best finals runs since I've been watching the finals. That's number 1. So I wouldn't say nothing like that about Rick Carlisle. What I said was Rick Carlisle has been there and done that before. I said, and the other guy did not know his name. I said, but he won Coach of the Year or some type of award, something he won. I said, so he kind of doing this thing too. I said that both teams were, the NBA and the sport was better for having these teams because they was more like farm to table type squads, both of them. You know what I mean? And not, so heavy laden with the stars and it's just kind of spread out this go around for both squads.
But if you
don't come in here telling
I brought up
don't
Kobe
lie.
Toppin, I brought up Benedict Mathurin. And specifically, if you look at how that fourth quarter played out, Carlisle's playing chess, the other kid's playing with,
Chinese
RC
checkers?
cars. He's got, it's not even close.
But
OKC
wait.
looked gassed.
But wait a minute though. If
Chet,
you look
who
at
I'm a
it,
fan
though,
of, right? I've been watching Chet since he was in high school.
Yeah, but I
0
thought
for
that
6 from
OKC.
3. He can't even match what apparently the Pistons' high priority target is at center. Just again, you brought up rotations, you brought up depth. I'm saying checkmate in favor of Rick Carlisle. Now I could be proven wrong,
But wait, when you watch the game so far, you two be up to this point, right? Just the eye test alone, OKC has really outplayed Indiana for real. In terms of the quarter, like how many quarters has OKC kind of lightweight than out? Bruh. You know, I jump out the CFP.
Please.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that to me, B. Don't be on his side, because if you do that, bro, I'm not gonna never hit the end up. But go ahead, do your thing. Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say somebody's outplayed somebody and
when they got a 2-1 lead. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think,
or they may have led more quarters or something to that effect. Is what maybe what I'm driving.
That could be true, but I think just Carlisle, because of his experience, he has a championship ring, and as a coach, and I just think his experience has. I mean, just think if they beat Oklahoma City, I'm pretty sure they'll be the first team to win a championship, and by beating 2 60+ wins teams.
Whoa,
that's incredible.
That's right.
Oklahoma
Yeah,
City.
Whoa, dag, B, shout out.
I mean,
See what I'm saying? See, I told you, Double J. I told you.
I mean,
you better have your pen and pad ready, because
that's incredible on what this team has done, and they don't. I mean, Halliburton, he's hyped up because he's saying that people said he was overrated. Sorry, but that
came from his peers, though.
His peers, that came from his peers, not from media or fans. And he's not a superstar right now. He's good. He's really good, and he's getting there. But I think that's what make this Indiana Pacers team a good squad, is they don't have a superstar. They have really good players. They have a really good bench, and Carlisle's using it. And I just don't think he's getting enough credit.
No, I'm with you.
What's going
I'm
on
with you on that, because I asked that question, like, why can't Indiana win? Because number one, going into this finals, Oklahoma was an overwhelming favorite.
Yes,
overwhelming, plus 700. I mean, minus 700 or 8 something. I don't know all the numbers, the whole nine, but they were overwhelming favorites. And then two, I can't pronounce the OKC coach's last name, and I'm not going to even try right here. You're talking about the technical difficulties we had earlier. Lord have mercy. They'd be the rest of the show. Why is he not playing Hartenstein? His line, what got him there was Hartenstein and Chet on the floor at the same time. Why go away from that?
Guess matchups in his mind is why he's doing that. He don't like the matchups that would present to him. But
so B, I didn't mean to cut you off. So if you, let's say you OKC's coach in that case, and you mentioned matchups because that's a crucial element to playoff basketball and winning. Wouldn't you still play what got you there, but force the other guy to match what you doing?
You would try to.
Yeah.
But to your point, if they get down 3-1, watch he switch back. Watch him switch, which might be too late, but he'll switch back if that happens.
So B, you think it's a gentleman's sweep too? Because Double J, when he be this adamant on something, he don't.
I got 7 games.
Oh, that's right. My bad. You dag. See that? Well, my memory again. Let I'm.
I have 7.
Oh boy, they put the wrong stuff in this. Oh, whoa, that's H2O5 right there, buddy. Yeah, that's right. You did say 7, man. Okay.
So we've talked about how to guard Halliburton in particular, and I brought up his ability to distribute is when he's actually at his best. I told Barbershop Jay that I believe now there's statistics that are tracking. I said he's going to end up messing around and getting a triple-double. He's flirted with that twice now, but every time he gets a double-double, to my knowledge, he's undefeated, at least in his playoff run. And so looking at what they did, instead of how they were guarding him, it was how they decided to guard SGA and the high pick and rolls. In particular, TJ McConnell in the impact that he's had.
You mean
TJ Barea? JJ Barea like.
I said it first, man. Stop stealing my thunder. This dude right here, man. Stop stealing my thunder, bro. You a thunder stealer thief or stealer thief. Yeah, I said TJ Barea. I knew that's what you was finna do. Boy, you know, boy, I swear for wee. Go ahead. What was you saying now?
No.
Oh, now it's my turn. Okay, well, I'm gonna finish it off then. Yeah, TJ Barea, like I was saying, the spark plug. Yeah, the bench outscored. Indiana's bench outscored OKC's bench. Looked like an all-star game score is what. It was ridiculous. 42-9 or something, or 19 or something crazy. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
22-8 run in game 3 in the fourth quarter.
But you know what? Let me go back to OKC side right quick. Another thing I saw that was kind of interesting. And maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm gonna throw it out here. It seems like when Lou Dort plays well, OKC does not. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh no.
Bruh, I mean, I don't have the numbers on it, but I'm just saying that's what it looked like.
Look up the numbers, Double J.
Yeah, it seemed like when he plays well, they as a team do not. You know, I'm throwing stuff out here at you, Double J. I'm finna jump out the plane at 57,000 feet with no parachute, baby. I'm DB Cooper today.
Oh yeah, I think he's looking it up now.
Yeah, he is. Oh no, he'll do this. Yeah, he'll pull up a whole stat sheet and the stock market and the NASDAQ and all that stuff be pulled up by the time he get done.
So let me ask you this, Jay. If Indiana wins tomorrow, is the series over?
Dang, B, you gonna really do that? You know, I ain't have my tea right now, man. I don't think so. Cause I'm in all honesty, I guess if you nitpick, you might could find one more so than the other. But I think that these two squads are too evenly matched in more of so many of the categories. I don't see how it don't go 7 unless Tim Donaghy get involved. Like, one of them, and then it might go 77. Or it might be over in 7. I don't know, 7 seconds or something. I don't know. But the way it's like, okay, I know. Indiana's up 2-1. Okay, got it. But put that aside and just what you watched so far. Can you really say, even though the Indiana is up 2-1, that they're gonna really win Game 4?
No.
Even though they're up in the series, and rightfully so, right? It's like, okay, each game has its own final, seem like. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes. Without question.
Yeah.
So Barbershop Jay, I went and looked both offensively and then defensively.
Okay, well, don't say that like you're talking in the 14th person. And don't get all stern-faced.
There's an energy level, right, that he brought. If you remember, I had suggested that's who guard Halliburton, but it seems like that intensity is not being matched by his teammates on the defensive side. So if you look at Game 1 as well as Game 3, both aggressive early. He did get a couple steals in Game 1, didn't translate in Game 3, but in Game 2, he stayed locked in on ball, stayed in his role. And that actually translates offensively. When you look at his stats, he goes 4 of 7, 2 of 3 from 3. Game 1 and Game 3, 1 of 6 from beyond the arc and 1 of 5, respectively. So the more they need to turn to him, the worse they're doing.
Okay. All right. Yep. B, it's all to the good, man. Hey, my man, my dad. Oh, Lord. No, students. Okay. First of all, I do this every week, baby. I don't know what it is, man. I'm getting old. Hey, my man B. That's right. Shout out to him again, Branson Wright. Glad he could join us for this night. Yeah, B, I know you got to go. It's all good, man. Hey, anytime you want to come back, man, or do a special thing, man, by all means, man, let me know. You more than welcome.
Absolutely.
It's so much more I want to pick your brain about anyway, man. But again, I'm glad you could join us, man. Shout out again, man. Be safe out there. And boy, your invite is open always.
Okay.
All right, man. Shout out. Yep. All right, B. I'll let you. Yep. Have a good one. Yep. Have a good one. Yep. It's all good. My cat B Wright, baby. That's right. Shout him out again, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I had him on, man. We might have had to, jump on.
I should have told him Funnel Cake Island. Rico, my friend of mine, has a spot down there in Cincinnati. Definitely will get your blood sugar up. So definitely, only eat about half or bring someone to share it with. But those things are loaded.
First of all, say that again.
Oh, Funnel Cake Island.
I don't eat funnel cakes. That's powdered sugar on powdered dog stuff, bro. I don't eat funnel cakes. Don't play me like that.
Not you.
Oh. What about what you mean? You just said eat funnel cakes.
He said he's in the Cincinnati area. He frequents that
Oh,
it's in Cincinnati.
Oh, okay. It's called Funnel Cake Island.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I want to go there. I don't like that. I don't like the sound of that Funnel Cake Island. Man, what's really going on?
Ocho Cinco's over there. He frequents the place as well. Again, good friends. Obviously with those guys up that way.
You said Ocho Cinco. That's no for me. I'm just saying. That's a no-go. That's definitely a no-go. We're gonna cap things off, actually. You know what I mean? I had one more for him I'm gonna try to get to. But I should have asked that first, man. But while we still got us, me and you, that's what we're gonna do, because we do what we do. Did the Knicks? No.
Oh man, I wish you would have asked him.
I know, that was gonna be my next thing. I know. It's all good. It's all good. We're getting back. Were the Knicks prepared to send Tibbs his walking papers?
No. You don't get denied. This is like cutting off some kind of significant other of any sort, or even a tutor or a friend.
Yeah, but a deal can still
down
be
5 times.
But a deal can still be done, right? Depending on how good the money is. And all
ask yourself this, right? You've been dismissed. Despite from your vantage point, your best effort, that it was not a reflection of you. right? You've been given your walking papers. You, as a human being, rightfully so, can suggest, could feel a type of way if you'd like. Then we watch them attempt to court 5 other people, and they don't strike out just once. They're
striking out everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
They missing. They need target
even
practice.
People that were they didn't even say anything to yet. We're like, nah.
Dang, bro.
And then they come back to you. Are you going to just walk right? Oh, my feelings, no. Are you kidding me? Would you want to go back? Would it ever be the same? Absolutely not. You can't do it. You got to stand on principle here. If you're Tom Thibodeau, is he the right person for the job? Honestly, at this point in time, I would say yes, because I don't think anybody else is capable of succeeding in it with its current roster.
That was my whole contention and question from the beginning. That's why I said they shouldn't have fired him. What they should have done is make him say, and I've seen this happen in football too, like the coach who can't get out of his own way, the organization say, okay, you know what? No, you're going to have a defensive coordinator. Or correct me if I'm wrong, there have been a few like head coaches that were head coach and GM or whatever, and seeing that they couldn't handle both. So the manager was like, no, you need to know. So somebody in that organization, because right now you're looking like the New York Giants. I mean, I'm just, with Saquon Barkley and that old type of deal. Now, I ain't saying Thibs would have won no championship, but you go and make him fix the things that he's stubborn on. Remember, I was like, bro, how you playing laundry? Okay, clean your laundry, sham it. All right. How you playing him and you ain't played him all season? You cannot go into an NBA playoffs, bro, not having throughout the regular season do the things that need to be done in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? If you play 10 guys in the regular season, then you better keep playing 10 guys. But the reason why coaches freeze up, okay, for lack of a better word or terminology, is because of the pressure. See, now you don't got 82 games. You can't play Sacramento Kings and them other bottom feeders, you know what I mean, for 25 wins and make your record look good. You get what I'm saying? And get you a good playoff positioning. Now it's a 7-game series and you got 3 rounds. 4 if you get to the finals. You get what I'm trying to tell you? So guys get there and be like, maybe. No, don't reinvent. How you get here? Keep doing. And then if the other guy make you change up what you're doing after you brought what you got here, then you go there. If I'm OKC, I'm playing, even though he's really not the spunky type of player, but he is the head of the snake, so to speak. I'm playing Tyrese in a box and 1.
What do you think about the Mike Brown? Does he fit?
Bruh. That's why I said in our Discord, after we was going back and forth, I said, okay, well, I'm sure you can trust the Knicks brain trust. You get what I'm trying to say? Right. Because I believe they just knew that they was going to get one of them guys that they just publicized going after, you know what I mean? And they got. They was like, hey, you promise? Yeah, we promise. Yeah, we're going to let Jason Kidd. We promise you we'll let Jason Kidd come over there. We just let Nico go. We got rid of Luka. You know we don't have no problem getting rid of folk over here.
They got rid of Nico?
I'm in Dallas. I'm talking about this is in Dallas type of deal.
Right, but they got rid of the GM?
Well, I'm being facetious.
Okay, all right.
In other words, Nico calls.
Wait a minute, what did I miss?
No, we in Dallas, we get done with things. Okay, and Jason Kidd said, but see, that's the thing too, though. Jason Kidd if he say he got an interest, then if you Dallas, you let him go ahead and walk, but he gonna have to give up. Is he gonna? Because we said no, because you're still under contract. But now if you just want to go over there, it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you. And what it's gonna cost you? Can the Knicks afford to get that up? They can't afford to give up nothing else on that squad because they need air piece.
Right, which was one of the issues that we discussed during the Eastern Conference Finals itself, which is the depth or lack thereof.
Hey, I don't know, bro. I don't know. And I was going to ask him that next. That's all right. You know, he's sending me a text or two over here. He said he appreciate the whole situation. I told him, yes, all good. He'll come back on, you know, when he ain't so he like Brother Rich, man. You know, he doing documentaries and stuff as we speak.
Absolutely. I'm surprised, you know, that was going to be my final question. You know,
yeah,
I have an acting resume.
Okay,
he could easily get you in.
No. That Pampers commercial when you were two, that don't. You need to update that resume. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Right.
I'm just saying. No, we'll get it. I told him he already know. I'm gonna be in touch with him. So it's all to the good, man. Bro, I'm telling you, I keep kicking myself. Had I went to even one of them, man, he done sent me so many invitations. Like I'm talking about the podcast expos, and he was like, man,
I'm sure.
Like, bro, what you doing? Like, you of all people, you need to be there. You know what I'm trying to, bro? He know how it was for me on this circuit. I was causing a lot of ruckus once upon a time. I was. Hey, and matter of fact, I'm gonna show y'all something. Bear with me.
This is a family program.
Sorry about that. You see this? What did I say?
Sports Pros.
Les Levine, Sports Pros. This was what year? 09.
Yep.
Okay. I used to be a regular on the More Sports, Les Levine, More Sports. I was a part of his sports professionals panel. That's the show I was telling you about. Out of all the copies, this is the only one I could find. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm about to put this on Facebook Marketplace, baby. 400 million right there. If the Wu-Tang can sell an album for 18 billion, I can sure enough get a sports professional when I had hair for 2 million. Come on, holla at your boy now. Help me out. Help me out.
The only known copy remaining in the universe.
Okay, well, I don't know about all that. Slow down there, Harry. I think the Knicks, bruh. They're going now. You went too far out on the limb. Your eyes got bigger than your stomach, so to speak. Oh, well, you know, we don't need him. We got, and it's like, whoa. What I say about measuring twice and cutting once? Well, this is a classic case. They just cut and realized it was too short. It's too short. You know what I'm saying? Shorty. Yeah, they done. So Mike Brown might be like the choice by default. Because who's the other guy? Didn't he play in the Avengers or something? That's what he looked like. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't he the Mad Capper or something in the Avengers? I don't know.
Taylor Jenkins?
I guess. Hey, don't ask me, bro. I don't even know my own kid's name sometimes. I'm just saying. Yeah, I just think, though, man, I just think they threw, bro. I think they really messed up. I think they set themselves back. I wonder who made the call. Dolan?
No, it absolutely was.
Okay, well. Yeah, it was Dolan. All right.
Is there any other franchise that you can think of that has done something comparable to this?
Yeah, the Cavs. Once upon a time. You talking about in recent memory?
Was that? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No. Recent memory. I can't think of nobody. Maybe a football? Somebody in football? Who, the Panthers? No, I can't think of nobody. No.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is some rare territory.
Well, that's why I said how long ago. Anybody out there familiar with Ted Stepien, the Cavs GM in the 70s and early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, when Nate Thurman and all of them and Austin Carr was, Ted Stepien was, he was horrendous. That's terrible and horrendous, by the way. He was horrendous, bro. Oh, man, go look up Ted Stepien. You go look up Ted Stepien right now, gonna make you want to fight somebody. All the terrible moves he made. Ridiculous. You know what I mean? But hey, you know, the Knicks, let the Knicks be the Knicks, and what the Knicks do, they know better than me and you. So let them do what they do, bro. I think that if they don't, because you have to find somebody that's gonna get you past the point that he was able to get you to. Everybody else is potentially that could possibly do that. The team's already done said no before you even asked. So now what do? The only guy, and he's not gonna get the shot. At least don't look like it. The only guy who I would right now is Mark Jackson. That's the only guy they could go get, I think, he could do for the Knicks what Steve Kerr was able to do for the Warriors after he left. He could take the foundation and probably get it to the. But with all due respect to Mike Brown, I like Mike Brown, cool dude. Do you see Mike Brown? Now he got a better roster. He would have a better roster in New York than he did with Sacramento. And he had Sacramento looking like, oh, hold up, wait a minute, what's happening here? You know what I mean? But then it fell apart. It did, unfortunately. But Mike Brown, do you think Mike Brown can take the Knicks because whoever you go get, they got to win a championship, bro. Period.
And that's why I think at this point in time, he, out of the known, available, and willing candidates,
even Billy Donovan, they told Billy Donovan is like, no. And the Bulls?
You know, he did have Giddey and those guys kind of balling right at the end of the season there.
Yeah,
and was that everybody shutting it down except for them? Maybe. Who knows? But they did look much better right there at the end of the season.
Yeah, and I'm sure the folks in New York, the brain trust that is, they was real giddy at the idea of Jason Kidd and the rest of them. Yeah.
Yeah, look, both Mikes have championships.
What do you mean, Mike? Who?
Was
Mike and who?
Malone and Brown. So if there was some way,
Mike Brown got a championship with the Lakers. That was the bubble. Didn't he coach the bubble? Well, you know, a lot of people saying that championship don't count. I disagree. And I can't stand LeBron, but I disagree. And I disagree on the basis that, and we talk about the bubble title. I disagree on the basis that the circumstances surrounding why that finals that year or that playoffs that year had to be played in the manner in which it was played and all the stuff surrounding it had nothing to do with the players.
It does now that you're hearing those additional whispers about Brunson's dad being on the staff.
No, I'm talking about that final, that bubble, that championship.
Oh no, that was Spoelstra. You're talking about not with Miami. But Mike Brown, I'm talking about with Golden State.
Oh, that's right. What am I? Who was coaching the Lakers? Because Mike Brown coached the Lakers too, didn't he? He didn't. When the Lakers had more coaches than the Browns and had quarterbacks. I can't even keep up with it. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know who next. Dale Harris? Are they bringing him back too? Or PJ Carlissimary? Who knows?
But that was like 2011.
What, for Mike Brown?
He replaced Phil Jackson.
Where? In LA.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I knew. Okay. I knew my memory was terrible, but I didn't know it was Tarinder Barrel. Okay. Yeah, don't play me like that, bro. I ain't even drinking no Lucian. You over here got me over here questioning checking my breath, and I don't even drink. You know what I'm saying? Agua. Yeah, I'm just saying. I think the Knicks, there's really no telling, bro. I've been around this for a long time, and I ain't saying I know more than or no less than, but I just don't know what to say on this one. I just don't, bro. I think they messed up. Did Thibs had stuff he needed to not do? Absolutely. but he got a lot. Did he get to Eastern Conference Finals with Derrick Rose?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
He sure did, didn't he? Was that Derrick Rose MVP year too, right?
Correct. They went twice against Miami.
To the Eastern Conference Finals, Chicago did?
Mm-hmm.
Did they? Oh, man. Ooh, yeah, it's time for me to retire. Either way it go. So Thibs can get you there. He didn't. So wait, he got twice with Chicago. And once with New York?
Correct.
Oh, you don't fire that. I didn't.
Yeah, but until
you don't fire that unless you know that you got a handshake, back deal, something in writing, but that could still be binding, some type of something with Jason Kidd or one of them other guys.
But you see, that was the thing, right? You look at the Rick Carlisle with the Pistons, then in comes Larry Brown, right? So you go.
No, Rick Carlisle was with the. Wait a minute, Rick Carlisle, he be getting the boot everywhere he go because he was in Chicago with Mike and them. That was Mike's boy too. Right? And then they brought in Phil, wasn't it? Okay, so Rick Carlisle was with the Pistons. Okay, then they brought in Larry Brown. But why did they bring Larry? Y'all excuse me for bouncing all over the place. I don't know. Something's going on with my mic here. But why did they bring in Larry Brown?
He couldn't get over the hump at the time.
Oh boy. Not Doug Gottlieb. Who was the Pistons coach? Who we just say? Oh, it's time. It's past my bedtime.
Like 10 seconds ago.
Yes, Carlisle. Jeez. Yeah, I'm tired. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Mike Brown's got to be the only. Who else is out there? Luke Walton?
He's on the Pistons bench.
Well, I mean, at this point, I'm about to fill out an application. I can run red right 88. Z65 toss power trap on 3 break. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Hey,
you might as well go for it at this point.
I mean, why not? And I'm going, and the first move I'm making, I'm going to get Joker. Because Joker got them Tom Brady Jones. You know, I need touchdowns, baby. You know what I'm saying? I want my fast break points to be 100-8 every game. We running you out the gym. You know what I'm saying? And Joker the quarterback. I'm like, Joe, don't even come down on this end. Just throw it. Just stay down there and just throw it. You know what I mean? Man, please. You talking about some fourth quarter action. Boy, them parlays be jumping. If I'm the coach, I ain't running no plays. We just running. We UNLV in it, Warren Moon in it, Houston Oiler in it. Yeah, Jim Kelly and Buffalo Bill in it. Yeah, that's what we doing. Kurt Warner, yeah, greatest show on turf in it. That's what we doing, okay? And you bet to be the New England Patriots if you want to stop me. Otherwise, we running you out the gym. Thurman Thomas. Just saying, yeah, okay. Don't get me started. You better be glad Branson gone, because I was about to open up a can of whirlwind whoop. Anyway, and on that note, I'll leave you with this quote. Don't start nothing with me. Finding fault in others is one's or your own greatest fault. Let me read that again. Repeat myself right there. Finding fault in others is one's greatest fault. Get that? It's been fun, but we got to run. Don't forget to check us out every Thursday, quote unquote, at 9:30 on the PM side. We might come at 9 next week. I don't know just yet. We'll see. Right here on the yard. Or y'all can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Did I say Facebook? Yeah, Facebook, the Shops fan page. Did I say it? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the Shops fan page. My gosh. And of course, y'all can check us out on YouTube. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'd be much obliged. That's when you're over there at the tube. That's right. And if that don't work, Google it. For my dudes, Be Rich, Double J, D Gully, and all those who follow and support us, we say thank you. And my special guest, once again, shout him out, Branson Wright. That's right, from B Wright Films, a.k.a. B-Dub. Glad you could join us on the P-Rogram today. B, if you're still watching, man, you can always come and get a shop right here. You can always come get a cut. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? I'm Barbershop Jay, and you've been listening to the Shop Report. Oh, remember, the next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla! We out of here. Hey.